Alright, today I want to talk to you about gridding method. Gridding method is a great way to help you draw more accurately. It will help you transfer and or enlarge or shrink your image from a photograph onto a canvas or a sheet of paper. For today's purposes, I have an image that's already gridded and then a blank grid over here. In the future, I will be teaching you how to set up your own grids. One thing you need to know is that when you use the gridding method, you need to have the same number of squares over top of your image as on your grid that you're going to be transferring onto. So you can count right here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 across. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 up. Now in this particular case the squares are the same size, so I am simply going to be redrawing this image at the same size. Now when we do our project, you will have a 4.5 by 6 inch photo, and we will be enlarging it by 2 times. Our canvas is going to be 9 inches by 12 inches. So 4.5 times 2 is 12. I'm sorry, 4.5 times 2 is 9, and 6 times 2 is 12. And when we do that, we'll do a 1-inch grid over the photo and a 2-inch grid over the canvas. Okay, so you can really enlarge it or shrink it as much as you want. You don't need to number at all, but if it is helpful for you, you can number next to your rows. And I might do letters on the top. And I'll do the same thing next to the one I'm transferring to. And really the only disadvantage to numbering like this is that if you're doing it onto a canvas board or a sheet of paper, later on you would have to erase these numbers, and if you don't draw lightly enough they might show. So some artists choose to just count their squares as they work, but if it helps you, you most certainly can number like this. Now what is wonderful about the gridding method is if there wasn't this grid here and I wanted to start drawing this thumb, I would just be randomly guessing, oh, the thumb is around here. But I can actually look down, and 4B is where my thumb is. So 4B is right here, so I know that this is where my thumb is going to start. I also know that I don't need to draw anything at all in column A because none of my image is in column A. Okay. Now when I start drawing, I need to look and see where the lines that I'm drawing are hitting the grid. So this thumb, this is about halfway is the inside of this line, and the outside is another third of the way over from there. So 4B, halfway is the inside of the line, and the outside of the line is about another third of the way over there, so about here. And then the outside of the line comes right about to the corner of the square. So I put my mark where my line is hitting on the actual square. And then I'm just going to use contour drawing skills in between there to fill that out. I can draw my inside line too if I want to have this be the exact same thickness, or I might just choose to do the outside line, and then when I'm painting or coloring it later I can add the thickness at that point. That's a personal preference, which one you would like to do. So once I have this line in, I can then see where this line is already touching the next square, so if I move down, this is a little more than halfway over for that inside line, and then a little more than that for the thickness. I'm going to really use my contour drawing skills. I'm going to pay attention and see that it's curving in slightly, then it starts to curve out a little bit. And I'm really going to pay attention on each square what's happening. So as we come down here, half, it's about a quarter, so half, about a quarter is where this line is touching. Again, I pay attention. This is coming out, coming down. I have this little mark in the square. So sometimes if you're having trouble seeing exactly where something goes, you can take the square. I can actually divide it in half again. So I'll put a line here. Whatever I do to that square, I have to do on this square. And then I can see, oh, this is just a little bit above, this little mark here is just a little bit above there. And then I can draw that mark in a little bit more accurately. I could divide it in half the other way if I needed to, which I don't really need to for the square. If this little section here was harder, I could even divide that in half again as many times as I need it for anything that was complicated for me. The more guidelines I have, the more that it shows me exactly where to place things on the grid. So you're just going to keep going down each time, look and see where the different lines are hitting the square. If you need to, divide the square into more sections, and then you finish your drawing.